I've been getting some requests to do some extra sky tutorials, and today I thought I'd take you through another one of those. This one is going to be using the selective color range tool to transform the sky with a stock photo of clouds. And it's super quick, so let's just get through it, and then you'll know how to take a stock photo of clouds and quickly add it to a white sky background. So this is another picture of the lovely Carmen Spiller, and we're going to just go ahead and start with our background layer here, grabbing that, and then creating a layer copy of it by selecting the Make New Layer button. So now we have a copy of the background layer, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that is selected, which it is. Go up to Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast, and then I'm going to add a bunch of contrast to this image, and then maybe also just a touch of darkness. So I'm going to click OK. We have a way over darkened contrasted image here, and don't worry about that at all. All we're doing that for is our selection process. So now that we have that done, we're going to stay selected on that image, go up to Select, then down to Color Range. We're going to have the basic button selected at first. Click on the image, and then click the plus button, and just click a few more times around our sky zone. With that done, we're going to click OK. And now we have a basic selection started here. Now, as you can see, a little bit of our lower area has also been affected by this selection, and that's really easy to fix. What we're going to do is go to our tool panel over here, click on the lasso tool, or if you don't have that selected, you can just go in here by right-clicking and then make sure you have the lasso tool selected. We just want the basic one. Then hold down Alt, and as you can see, that creates a minus button, which means you're going to be deselecting. Then I'm just going to start drawing across here and just try and get rid of as much of that lower selection as possible. And then I'm going to zoom in a little and just carefully holding the minus button down again, which is Alt, unselect those areas. Now luckily this process saves us a lot of time because we don't have to go and make our own fresh new selection right away. But you can have a few issues, especially if your model is lighter colored or has wearing a lighter colored outfit. You might have to do a little bit of extra special selecting. But this really saves you a lot of time in this process. Alright, so it looks like we've cleaned it up pretty darn well here. So now we have a selection essentially of our white sky. And what we're going to do now is do Control-Shift-I and then go back to our main layer. So I'm going to uncover that one and click on this one and then say Control-C for copy and then Control-V for paste. And now what we've essentially done with these two layers down here is we have our background layer, and we also have a layer that has only the model and the foreground on it. And we're just going to go ahead and delete this layer. So with that done, now I'm going to go ahead and click on my sky stock right here. And we're actually going to be selling a pack of sky stock photos in our Etsy shop. So if you just want to grab a quick bundle of sky pictures, we're going to have sunsets and clouds and stuff like that. So go ahead and click on the link at the end of this video or in the description below now, and you can go ahead and buy some of our own sky stock that we've been creating for a while now. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Control-A to select all, then Control-C to copy. Then we're going to go back to this image and then do a Control-V to paste. And this layer ended up above our second layer here, so we're just going to drag that down so it's in between these two layers, like that. And as you can see, our image is already kind of coming together here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this basic tool and then drag this up. About like that. And so that is essentially the simple basics of getting the sky in there. I'm just going to do a tiny bit more cleanup work now. Like one thing I notice is on this side we have a little bit of shrubbery that was a little too close to the background, so what I'm going to do is just quickly delete some of that stuff out so it's not so distracting. So I clicked on our foreground layer and I'm just going to grab my eraser tool and then just erase those main branchy bits out. And maybe just leave a little tiny bit of a see-through haze line along here just to kind of give a bit more of a bloom effect on some of our tree line. Like that. And the last thing I want to do is just do a little bit of quick color touch-up, and obviously you can spend hours on this to make it perfect, but we're just going to do a little color touch-up to get this sky and foreground looking a little closer together. So for that, I'm actually going to go to my sky layer, and I'm just going to go up to Image, Adjustments, and then Hue and Saturation. And if you want, you can instead make an adjustment layer in here if you want to be able to readjust this. And you do that by clicking this little circle button right here. So in there, I'm just going to down the saturation, I think, on the sky a little bit, make it not so intense, and maybe lighten it up a little. Alright. And then I'm actually going to go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, maybe just add a touch of blur to our clouds. Make them not so intensely focused. That's a little better. And then on our foreground, I'm going to go ahead and maybe adjust the contrast and brightness a little bit. There we go. So just a little tiny bit of work. Obviously you can spend a lot more time working on that stuff, just perfecting it, but as far as getting a basic sky in there in a relatively quick fashion and taking advantage of that select color range tool, this does the job, and I hope you enjoyed that. I have another sky tutorial coming up soon, and I'll probably be using one of these images again just to show you guys off the 3 different examples. If you haven't seen my first sky tutorial, you can go back in my gallery and you'll see another version of this image where I've taken it and we've just done a gradient style sky. So hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. That's it for this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll be back soon with more. Bye!